Good morning.
Morning.
You're welcome. Can everybody hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. You're welcome. Just give me a minute. I would like to share my. Okay. Hi. Can you see my screen now, please?
Yes, we can.
I can see it, yeah. I think the rest can see
Okay.
it.
Okay, that's fine. First, I would want to officially welcome us all to this training, getting value from a quality management system ISO 9001-215.
Can you do a presentation? Put it on presentation mode so that we can see only the slide that you're speaking to, please.
Okay, sir. Okay, so I would want to officially welcome you to this training today, getting value from a quality management system, ISO 9001-215. First, I would want to appreciate you for joining the class, and I'll just dive into the class rules for today, just to help us proceed through the class seamlessly. We expect that even when we are in the course of the class, that will be timely. Kindly silence your gadgets around you and put your gadget on mute in order for us not to be hearing a lot of background noise. If for any reason you want to ask a question or make a suggestion, all you need to do is to raise your hand, please. We encourage you to be curious and ask questions because it's going to help us engage properly. Please be cautious in your engagement and your questions. Okay, the agenda for today, first we'll be taking a welcome speech and a brief introduction to NGCL by the Acting Managing Director, Mr. Norua Edokolo. After that, we'll get into the training proper. After the training, we'll now take Q&A and then closing remark. We promise to be timely and at the same time make it worth your while. At this point, I would want to hand over to the Acting Managing Director, Mr. Norua Edokolo. Please, sir, you can take over, please.
All right, thank you, Ada. I will share from here so you can.
Okay, sir.
Yes, I will share from here. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Already, I have started my introductions, and we are delighted to have so many of you here with us. Thank you so much for making time to join us. Just give me a minute. I'm looking for my slides. I would have them up in a minute. Might also be a good thing because I see that more people are joining us just as we are getting into the groove of it, like they say. So let me share my screen. Please confirm you can hear me and that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can hear you and I can see your screen.
All right, thank you very much.
I can also hear you and see the screen.
Thank you very much. NGCL, NECA'S Global Certification Limited. That's the company that has put this together. We like to call ourselves as Nigeria's leading certification company. A bit of history. So a couple of years ago, the European Union funded the National Quality Infrastructure Project, NQIP for Nigeria. The project was implemented by UNIDO. The idea was to create a quality infrastructure such that, Nigerian goods, services, and human resource could match up with, the very best in the world, okay? And so, that project gave birth to, quality management systems, metrology, certification, et cetera, et cetera. We were chosen among private sector organizations. NECA was chosen among private sector organizations to set up a conformity assessment body, which is what NGCL became. Now, what was the justification for this investment by the European Union and UNIDO, that despite the fact that Nigeria, was the largest economy in Africa, we lacked an internationally recognized quality infrastructure with the capacity to ensure the safety, integrity, and marketability of Nigerian goods and services, and the removal of technical barriers to local, regional, and international trade. You must be following the news, how that our yam is taken to Ghana and repackaged before they accept it in Europe. Our beans goes to Ghana, repackaged before they accept it in Europe. Our businesses are unable to compete internationally because, a company is doing well in Nigeria, but that company cannot do business across the border. Why? Because we're not, our system, we don't have the right quality, mindset or infrastructure. And so it was in response to this that the National Quality Infrastructure Project, was birthed. And that gave birth to NGCL. Now, anybody familiar with the certification, we recognize that there is what you call the International Association for accreditation. That is the global body, all right? The global body for, management system accreditation. So we are members of that global body through EJAC. EJAC is the Egyptian Accreditation Council, which is recognized by IAF, and we are qualified under, we are under EJAC as a certification body. So we are qualified to offer ISO 9000 2015 standard, both locally and internationally. So that is in terms of our, what it means in effect is that a certificate from NGCL is as good as any other that you can get from any organization. NGCL can be termed to be like Glo. You know what Glo did to the telecoms industry? Before Glo, it was foreign-owned businesses, MTN, what was their name then? Was it Airtel or SIT, whatever? They've changed their names a lot of time. But when Glo came, Glo was a Nigerian business and it dropped the prices. In a manner of speaking, that's what NGCL has done to the certification business. We're a Nigerian-owned business, and so we've made a huge difference in that space. Our services include quality management system, ISO 9001 2015. We also offer integrated management system certification. And we also offer training services in QMS, internal auditor training, etc. We have EMS, ISO 14001 2015. We have food safety. We have occupational health and safety, and quite a few other training services. So I would yield the floor to Ada. I'll come back later after the Q&A to introduce our guest speaker for today. Ada, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that brief introduction. We appreciate that. I would want to introduce our trainer for today, Mr. Ezekiel Ogulu. Okay, so Mr. Ogulu is a member of the Institute of Safety, a member of the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, and a multidisciplinary professional with a wealth of experience in ISO 9001-215 quality management system, ISO 14001 environmental management system, ISO 45001 occupational health and safety, ISO 28000 supply chain security management system, and IATF 16949 automobile QMS. He's also skilled in ISO 21001 2018 management systems for educational organizations, ISO 22395 2008 X and LRCR, and ISO 22320 2018 S&REM emergency management standard. He consults, audits, and trains internationally and has over 20 years of experience in management systems. Mr. Ogulu is a skilled and certified master trainer. He is internationally certified as a lead auditor in management systems listed above by the IRCA, International Register of Certificated Auditors, UK, and the PECB, Professional Evaluation and Certification Body, Canada. He is also an international certification authority, ICA certified ISO 17021, which is the standard that governs conformity assessment bodies like NGCL. He is a lead assessor, trainer, and inspector. This qualification enables him to train auditors and of certification bodies and audit these certification bodies. Mr. Ogulu possesses other competencies, including strategic planning, risk management, project management, maintenance management, project QHSC management, procurement, human resource management, etc. Mr. Ogulu worked in the Nigerian oil and gas industry for 14 years and rose to the position of acting executive director before leaving paid employment to pursue a career in management systems consulting, training, and auditing. He has consulted and audited and trained for several certification bodies within and outside Nigeria that I won't even be surprised if a lot of you already know him. Mr. Ogulu has played several roles in projects. He has successfully managed multi-million dollar high-risk projects and has at various times performed project QHSC management roles. Mr. Ogulu also contributed to the accreditation of NECA'S Global Certification Limited. He is passionate about human capital development as well as organizational development. He is also an entrepreneur and a farmer in the works. I would want to use this opportunity to introduce you to this great man who has even personally taught me a lot. I believe with the few you have heard about him, you would agree with me that he is the best person to be cascading down this knowledge down to us. Mr. Ezekiel Ogulu, you're welcome.
Our topic is getting value from the quality management system. And this is part of the knowledge sharing series of NGCL. And I will be addressing the subject today. By way of course content, we will look at the course objectives, we'll look at the course objectives. We will also look at management system implementation, making a difference through audits, process approach to audit as well. At the end of this course, participants should be able to appreciate management systems as strategic actions for organizational transformation, have an overview of the requirements of ISO 9001:2015 and how it affects the business. Understand the importance of audits in management systems. Understand the transformational ability of process approach to audits. Add value to management systems through audits. And then know what and how to check in the course of the audit. Organizations don't just implement management systems. The choice and the implementation of any management system, whether it's a quality management system, an environmental management system, or even an integrated management system is always a top management decision. And this decision is brought about due to the strategic direction of the organization. Therefore, top management support is critical. When implementing management systems, I dare say that even when the management system has been implemented, it is important to always have specific objectives and deliverables per time. So for every planned period, have specific objectives and deliverables. The management system should also permeate all of the organization's life, and it should be result-oriented. The implementation should be systematic. In other words, it should be planned and properly executed in line with the desired objectives of the organization. When implementing the management system, top management should also clearly define project objectives for the implementers. Their performance should also be measured. You may have noticed that the management system, particularly ISO 9001, is structured to provide strategic management of every organization. In other words, so that the organization can be forward-looking and proactive in dealing with the issues associated with the business. It starts in clause 4 with situation analysis. This is where you look at the external and internal issues of the organization. And then you get to strategy formulation and strategy implementation. In strategy formulation, you see this playing out in clause 6. And then from strategy formulation, you get to strategy implementation. Implementation is supported by clause 7 of the standard, while the strategy implementation itself is in operations, that's clause 8. And then we have evaluation and control in clauses 9 and 10, where you have measurement, evaluation, and then it also goes to dealing with continual improvement or with the issues of improvement. So when having implemented the management system, it's important that the system is maintained. If you want it to deliver on its objectives, and you also want the system to support the organization and continually improve. So effective management system maintenance is important. And then, of course, again, management systems, especially the quality management system, delivers huge benefits. Every organization implementing a quality management system should harness and maximize these benefits. Okay, briefly, we'll go into the 7 management systems principles. They are customer focus, leadership, engagement of the people, process approach, improvement, evidence-based decision making, and relationship management. In customer approach, the principle encourages us to get to know the customer, understand the customer's needs in the short, medium, and long term, and position yourself as an organization in a manner that you can meet these needs of the customers. Next is leadership. Though we are more focused on dealing with leadership from the internal, leadership also includes finding out where you are in the scheme of things in your business. Are you a leader in your sphere of operations? But if we are to focus on the area that we are more that the standard speaks more to, it's with respect to organizational leadership. And leadership exists at top, medium, and even lower levels. Engagement of the people encourages us to be able to get everyone in the organization engaged so that all available skills and talents within the organization can be more appropriately harnessed and effectively utilized in the organization. Next is process approach, which will be which is also a strong point in dealing with the audits that we're going to be handling today. The process approach enjoins us to manage our activities within the organization as a process. And it is by so doing that we're able to achieve more efficient results. The fifth principle is improvement. And here the standard enjoins us to continually improve. And as I would always say to my friends, you cannot use yesterday's solution to tackle today's challenges. And it's even worse if you want to use yesterday's solution to tackle tomorrow's challenges. Therefore, we've got to continually improve and ensure that we're applying the right solution for the right challenges. Principle number 6 is evidence-based decision making. And in evidence-based decision making, we're enjoined to make decisions on the basis of the analysis of credible data and information. The final principle is relationship management. And this deals with how the organization manages the relationships of its interested parties. Okay, so let's do a brief run through or a brief rundown of the high-level structure of the standard. ISO 9001:2015 has 10 clauses. Clause 1 is scope. The scope here refers to the scope of the standard. As we go on in clause 4, particularly 4.3, we will see another scope, which is determining the scope of the quality management system. This is not exactly the same as scope 1. In fact, this is different from scope 1. Scope 1 is standard specific. It addresses the limits of each standard. So for instance, ISO 9001:2015 has a scope. Its scope is the quality management system. Clause 2 addresses normative reference. These are references made within the quality management system. Clause 3 deals with terms and definitions. Clause 4 is context of the organization, and it has 4 sub-clauses. 4.1 is understanding the organization and its context. This is where we look at the issues around the organization and the issues that are within the organization. Plus 4.2 is understanding the needs and expectation of interested parties. 4.3, determining the scope of the quality management system. This is the second place where scope is mentioned. And here it is referring to the scope of the organization's business. In other words, what is the business of the organization? This is different from clause 1, which is the scope of the standard. Finally, for clause 4, we have 4.4, which is the quality management system and its and its processes. And here you're dealing with the processes involved in the quality management system, as well as the interactions of the processes within the organization. Clause 5 is leadership. And leadership has 3 sub-clauses. 5.1 is leadership and commitment, 5.2 policy, and 5.3 organizational roles, responsibilities, and authorities. Clause 6 is planning, and it has 3 sub-clauses. 6.1, actions to address the risks and opportunities. Clause 6.2, QMS objectives and planning to achieve them. Clause 6.3, planning of changes. While clause 7 deals with support. And here we have 5 sub-clauses. 7.1 is resources, 7.2 competence, 7.3 deals with awareness, 7.4 communication, and 7.5 documented information. Clause 8 addresses operations. Here we have 7 sub-clauses. 8.1, operational planning and control. 8.2, requirements for products and services. 8.3, design and development of products and services. And permit me to say that 8.3, clause 8.3 is one of the most misunderstood clauses of the standard. This standard is not just about design and development of products. It's also not primarily about engineering design, but rather it is the design and development of products and services. This includes how, as organizations, we design and develop the unique service offerings that we have. And it is difficult to justify the exclusion of this requirement when seeking certification of the management system. Plus 8.4 is control of externally provided processes, products, and services. 8.5, production and service delivery. 8.6, release of products and services. And 8.7 addresses control of non-conforming output. We are left with two clauses. We have clause 9, which is performance evaluation, and it has 3 sub-clauses: monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation. That's 9.1. We have 9.2, internal audit, which we are going to focus a little more on. And then 9.3, management review. 10.1, general. 10.2, non-conformity and corrective action. 10.3, continual improvement. How do we make a difference through audits? It starts with having a clear understanding of what an audit is. And ISO 9000 2015, as well as 19011 2018 define an audit as a systematic, independent, and documented process of obtaining audit evidence and evaluating it objectively to determine the extent to which the audit criteria are fulfilled. For an audit to be adjudged to be credible, auditing principles must be adhered to. And these principles include integrity, fair presentation, due care, confidentiality, independence, evidence-based approach, and finally, risk-based approach. So, what is process approach? In dealing with process approach, it's also important that we pay attention to the PDCA methodology, that is the Plan, Do, Check, Act methodology, or what is known as the Deming's Circle. Okay, by way of definition, a process is a set of interrelated or interacting activities which transform inputs to outputs. And it's important to note that the process takes inputs, transforms them to outputs, utilizing resources, and this transformation takes place in a controlled manner. And we are enjoined by this principle to note that the desired result is achieved more efficiently when activities and related resources are managed as a process. One of the benefits of process approach is that it has the capacity to take away unhealthy relationships or unhealthy rivalries within an organization. Okay, now if you take a look at the processes on the board now on the screen, you will notice that the processes are interacting and interrelated. Here, you would find that process A, for instance, has an output which serves as an input to process C. The same process A has the same, has another output, or its output. The output of process A serves as a control to process B. And the output of process B serves as an input to process D, as well as a resource to process C, while the output of process C is serving as a control to process D. In other words, the interactions and interrelationships between these processes is something which every organization needs to take seriously. So if, for instance, the output of process A is defective, automatically it means that all the other related and interacting processes will come up with will most likely come up with non-conforming outputs, because here in this case, a defective or non-conforming output is serving as a resource, as a control to process B, and the same defective output is serving as an input to process C. And if that happens, automatically the input to process C, which is defective, is most likely to result in a non-conforming output for the same process, and so on and so forth. This is how the output of one process can impact on other processes within the organization. So now let's summarize what we've been looking at in terms of the process approach. First, it's important to note that organizational processes consist of activities, and every organization needs to identify and manage these activities in order to function effectively. Any activity that utilizes resources and is managed to enable the transformation of inputs to outputs, and the organization depends on this, can be considered to be a process. Often, the output from one process directly forms the input to the next, or it could be a resource or even a control to the next process. In other words, processes that interact and are interrelated can affect each other. Okay, so now let's look at process approach to the quality management system audit. We've seen what a process is, and the process has process activities. Each process takes inputs, and these inputs go through various process activities, and they show up outside as outputs. Now, before they become outputs, there is an integration of resources. And these inputs that are taken are also integrated to the resources within that process area, and the transformation of the inputs which are taken in together with the resources are the transformation of the inputs and resources is supposed to take place under controlled conditions. These controls, when effective, will result in the output. An output can be the desired output or an undesired output. When it is an undesired output, it's a non-conforming output. And if it is a non-conforming output, it means that that non-conforming output has to undergo corrective action. And the corrective action Provisions for corrective action are made in clause 10.2 of the standard. And how do you determine if the output is a conforming output or not? It's by comparing the input to the output. So what should we look for when we are conducting an audit? We should look at the relationship between the context of the organization, risks and opportunities, objectives, and planning to achieve them. In other words, we should confirm the relationship between the context of the organization, the risks and opportunities, the objectives, and planning to achieve them. Next, we also need to check the management of change. Support, we should check the management of change, check support, check the relationship between the identified risks and opportunities, as well as the operational planning and controls. Then verify leadership engagement. Check continual improvement also. Now, it's important to note that audits are very, very important, and value can be added to the management system through auditing. And how do we do this? First, it's important that we understand that quality management systems are critical to organizations, and under no circumstance should the actions or inactions of auditors make organizations to devalue audits, especially internal audits. And one of the ways by which we rob ourselves of the importance of audits, particularly internal audits, is to indicate that we would conduct only one internal audit in the plan period. The standard says internal audits should be executed at planned intervals. But even if the standard does not mention planned intervals, bearing in mind that the audit, the internal audit of the system, is what checks the level of conformity to the audit criteria. It's important that the audits are executed intermittently, of course, at planned intervals. In other words, one audit per audit cycle is not good enough. Any organization that has only one audit is just saying to anyone that comes across its system documentation that it is not committed, or it is not properly committed to the implementation of the management system. The second way we can add value to the management system through audit is to audit the system in an integrated manner. In other words, don't focus on auditing procedures. Rather, focus on auditing processes. Check how the quality management system has been integrated into the organizational processes in line with the requirements of clause 5.1. As auditors, be thorough in the audit. Let nothing fall through the cracks, especially when dealing with organizational processes. Check to see the interactions and interrelationships between processes, and ensure that the requirements of the standard are taken care of when you are dealing with these interactions and interrelationships. Also, as auditors, always ask yourselves, or rather, we should always ask ourselves the question, are we missing something? Or are we missing anything out in the course of this audit? It's important to also improve your knowledge as an auditor. No organization would like to waste its time waste its time with an auditor who does not have relevant knowledge and who would not be adding value to the system. Therefore, don't be that kind of auditor. Improve your knowledge. And always ask yourself the question, what can we do better? This is important, especially at the end of every audit, when you are taking stock of how the audit has gone. I'd like to thank you for listening, and if you have any question, I'll be glad to take such questions. And by the way, you can send your questions and comments to NGCL. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you for the clap. On behalf of the class, I would want to appreciate you very, very much, Mr. Ezekiel Okulu, for impacting in us all. I believe that every other person here would agree with me that it was quite an impactful session. At this point, we would love to take questions, please. If you have any question, feel free to ask. You can ask your question by sending it in as a message in the chat, and I'll read, or you just raise up your hand and you can speak. So anyone that works for you, please.
Okay, somebody's asking about the presentation. It would be on our YouTube channel in the next 28 to 48 hours, and we will share the link with everybody who has dropped their email addresses. Thank you.
Okay, any other question, please? I assume that Mr. Gulu overdid and even answered our questions in the process, that we don't have any questions again.
Somebody's asking, where should we drop our email? I want to believe that you
registered. Yeah.
Otherwise, please drop your email right there on the chat. If you didn't register, so I don't know how. If you didn't register, please drop your email. Patricia, I think I saw your hand up. Sholari.
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself. And
yes.
Okay, ma, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good morning.
Okay, I think
Good
I
morning,
have
everybody.
unmuted myself. Well, this has been a very, very insightful, interesting topic. One good thing about training is that anytime you listen to any training session, you learn something. I have been training in quality management system since 1994, when the UNIDO brought in quality management system into the country through the Standards Organization of Nigeria. But I've learned quite a bit today, some other approaches to explaining the clauses of the standard. My comment, or shall I say question now, is what is the relationship between the National Global Certification Limited and the Standards Organization of Nigeria? Do you relate with them at all? That is question number one. Number two, there is an association, Management Systems Association of Nigeria. And well, I'm a member of that association. And is NECA or these global members of the global certification body members of that association, or would you like to join that association? Those are my 2 comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. I'll take both of them. For the second one, we will get across to you after now. Please drop your contact details. For the first one, SON is an accredited CAB, just like NGCL is. So that is the nature of our relationship. Ideally, under the National Quality Infrastructure Policy Outline, it is NECA'S. NECA'S is the accreditation body for Nigeria, just like EJAC is for Egypt. NECA'S is just beginning to find its feet. I'm sure that as soon as they are standing properly, as far as management system certification is concerned, everybody is going to go to NECA'S. So SON is a CAB, just like NGCL is a CAB. That is the nature of our relationship. Regarding the management system practitioners of Nigeria, we will get back to you after now. Thank you very much, Ma, for your observations.
I would want to ask, as a form of clarification, you're talking about MASPAN, right?
Yes, I am talking about MASPAN.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be in contact then. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yes. Any other question, please?
Yes, there are 2 hands up.
Okay.
Group international.
Internal audit.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Ma. I just want to ask a question. What's the relationship between NGCB and PCB? You know, I believe that both of them are certification body. I just want to ask the difference between the two.
What is PCB?
Yes, as in the relationship between the organizing body, this NGCL and the PCB.
Who is PCB?
Okay. I saw you are a member of PCB. Yes.
Let Mr. Gulu answer.
NGCL is not a member of PCB. As you know, PCB is also a certification body as well. That is a training certification body as well as a CAB, you know, as well as a CB as well. So there is no formal relationship, to the best of my knowledge, between NGCL and PCB. However, I am a member. I am a member of, how do I put this? I hold the certification of of PCB, not NGCL. NGCL does not have any certification. As you may be aware, a certification body cannot certify another certification body. So, to the best of my knowledge, that is the relationship.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I think just like I alluded to when I was speaking earlier, NGCL is one of the first Nigerian-owned certification bodies. Prior to now, most organizations in Nigeria were certified by foreign certification bodies like PECB, Bureau Veritas, what's their name? SGS, etc., etc. It was, in fact, NGCL was certified ahead of SON under this National Quality Infrastructure Project that I said was funded by the EU and with the technical support of UNIDO. So in a manner of speaking, we are the first set of Nigerian-owned certification bodies, which is why we are saying to Nigerian companies, you now do not have to go to Canada or to the US to get certified. The competencies are now available at home. And NGCL is leading in that direction to get more Nigerian businesses certified. Thank you very much, sir. There's a hand up, Christian Ebo.
Christian Ebo.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to be part of this program and this training. When I saw the invitation, I was very happy because I come from IPAN Land Conformance Systems Limited, a person certification body. I was also a baby of the NQIP.
Okay.
That they implemented. I think we got our accreditation from International Accreditation Services, USA, some months after your own. And so I've been looking forward to this sort of coming together. And just like what you said, I think the time has come to promote certification bodies in Nigeria, indigenous ones. And I want to believe that the competence and the everything that we need, we already have it, based on what we have done over the years and the rest of them. My comment is just on the economics of the whole thing. And I know that my COE, maybe in the next month or so, will find a way of visiting your organization. I just want to find out the acceptability and the patronage. How has it been for QMS? Our own is a laboratory analyst. Our certification program is for laboratory analysts. Those that carry out the analysis in analytical laboratory. How have your penetration and acceptance and the rest of them been?
I would say so far so good. I think the challenge we face more than anything else is the challenge of awareness. Okay. You'll be surprised that maybe over 80% of those on this call are probably hearing for the first time that there are Nigerian-owned certification bodies. Yeah. The good thing about it is that even those foreign certification bodies used Nigerian consultants. I mean, Mr. Ogulu is here, Mrs. Jolari, Patricia that spoke earlier, they are here. So
yeah, what we do the job for them.
Yes, the job was being done by Nigerians, but the money was going out of Nigeria. Now we can keep the money at home and use our own people who understand, our environment much better. So, which is part of the reason why we have this, knowledge sharing sessions. Maybe that should just take me to the announcement I was going to make. By the grace of God, we'll be having another one again by the last Thursday of May. We want to do this every other month just to create awareness so that people can know. We're going to be talking about integrated management system. How do you do a QMS and an environmental management system all wrapped up in one? That's a wonderful cost-saving approach to certification. So we'll be talking about that in May. So yes, it's not been easy, but we see a market, we see an opportunity, and we believe that the more Nigerian-owned businesses get to recognize that there are now Nigerian-owned certification bodies whose certificate as just as acceptable worldwide as any other, then the business will improve, both for you in your space and for us in our space.
Thank you very much. I look forward to the collaboration.
Thank you very much. Same here.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that. Any other questions? I can't see any hands up. Okay, Monique and Oluwatishe, I appreciate your comments in the chat box where you said that PCB is also a CB in Canada but provides certification in Nigeria, and PCB is a foreign CB that penetrates into Nigeria through marketing strategies. It is important that local CBs marketing their services more. Organizations should embrace local content that are internationally affiliated. Thank you. It's actually important that we use this opportunity to highlight the fact that all of these certification bodies have accreditations, and all of these are under the IAF, which is the International Accreditation Forum. So that is to say that it's not like because it's coming from Canada, it's better, or because it's coming from UK, it's better. We should appreciate what we have at home more. And just as my MD had earlier said, it's just like they still come from way over there and they're still using our people here. So why not use our certification body here with our people here and let the money be home? So I really, really appreciate those comments. Thank you very much. I guess there's no other question. Thank you, Monica. Also, we really, really appreciate. I would want to make an announcement. In addition with what the MD had earlier said, I would just want to reiterate that we would be having another knowledge sharing session by 30th May. And we are hoping that all of us would still be able to join. It will be by 10 a.m. will be prompt. It's titled Demystifying the Integrated Management System Audit. So I'm expecting that all of us will be there in order to learn more. Okay, so this is where the icing on the cake is. We have some trainings coming up, and trainings outlined for the month of April, June, July, September, October, and November. We would still do well to send this particular information to your email. So these trainings already have defined amounts for them. Like the one for next month, April, is for 23rd to 24th. It's a 2 days internal auditor training for quality management system, which a
Can
physical
you put a presentation mode so we can see it better? Presentation mode.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it better now? Okay.
Yes, it's better now.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. So we have the internal auditor course for April 23rd to 24th, June 12th to 13th, and September 11th to 12th. And the physical class cost 160,000, while the virtual class is for 140,000. Now, this is where you get an add-on advantage for being in this KSS this morning. We'll be offering you a 12% discount on confirmation of your attendance. So if you want to join the internal auditor training for next month, which is for 23rd to 24th, you'll be getting a 12% discount, whether you're joining the physical class or you're joining the virtual class. Same is applicable for all the training sessions from April to November. So we're hoping that it's not just about the fact that you want to join, it's also about the fact that you would be making a financial commitment to the training from now till Friday. MD Sam, correct, right? From now till tomorrow evening, you have the window to make your payment from now till tomorrow evening.
Because of the holiday, I think we'll extend it to Tuesday. Because
Tuesday.
of the holidays, yes. So what we're saying in effect is that this 12% discount is applicable to anybody who registers and makes payment between now and close of business on Tuesday. All right. Okay. If you make your payment and you send the evidence to us, then you enjoy this 12% discount on any of these programs, even if it's a program in November you are paying for. So long as you make the payment between now and close of business on Tuesday, you'll get a 12% discount. That is for coming on this program. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So this would still be sent as an email to all that is in attendance, just for ease of reference to look at the details of the training schedule. Once again, we appreciate you for joining this class, and I would want to hand over to my MD, Mr. Edopolo, to finally say the closing remark. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ada. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making this program with us. If not for you, we wouldn't have really been able to have this program. I call him Professor Ogulu. Thank you so much for another, down-to-earth presentation. If you look at this program, there's actually a course where we, anyway, let's just go on now. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Like I said, we would be having another one in May, last Thursday of May, 10 a.m. We'll send out the flyer once it's ready. And all the consultants who are on this program, please do get in touch with us. Ada, do you want to put your email address and my email address on the chat bot so that all the consultants here, we have another forum where we meet with consultants. We had one a couple of weeks ago, our consultants forum, where we got to meet each other, have wonderful conversations, and discuss how the business will go for us this year and in the year for. So we'd like to have a special meeting with consultants. So consultants, please do get in touch with us, and let's see how we can take it from there. Thank you also very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful Easter holidays. And for those of our brothers and sisters who are Muslims, I would say, I think it's Ramadan Kareem. God bless you. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.